Massing and architecture is about not only the shape, but how does it fit in the environment? Massing is important to where you don't overdo it. It allows the architecture to flow like a musical note. It allows the interior to flow and become that rhythm of the property. But everything in massing has to do with how the stream of consciousness through a property really is developed and then built. What's up, man?
What's up, Drew? How are you, brother?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Hey, as much as I want to get in here and see it all, let's start in the front. I want you to kind of talk to us a little bit about the curb appeal and some of the vision right from the beginning.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing this. So everything you guys walked on outside of the concrete, this is all marble.
Okay.
And it's outdoor rated marble. It's leathered. It's gorgeous. It's supposed to be this kind of differentiation in something that you've never seen really in a home out in a driveway. So you've got marble here, you've got beautiful landscape, garden studio design. It goes with the entire live roof that's up, goes the entire span of the property. It's got beautiful street trees, beautiful street presence. But the idea behind this home was, how do we center the home on these two street trees, which are great jacaranda trees, and make it so that you're bringing the inside out and the outside in this livability standpoint. And it's just an amazing home.
Yeah.
The office has its own location, so that if you've seen online on where I was talking about that, it's designed so that you're not inviting people into your home, you're inviting them into your office.
Yeah.
So you have a designated space, people can come and go and you're seeing them. The family is the family, business is business. So you create this separation of spaces.
I love that.
You've got poly stucco here, hardy board on top, custom.
Those are oversized doors, huh? Those are big.
Yeah, when you see the garage, it's massive. So this is a Scandinavian modern home. And so it lived in my mind for about 4 years. I drew it. Eric Goss, the architect, then made it real. Serendipity Designs did the interior design alongside myself, and she had just come back from a trip. She was inspired. She showed me these photos of the Four Seasons in Cabo San Lucas, and I was like, sold.
Let's do it.
Whatever that is,
yeah,
let's go. I didn't want to go Tulum vibes because I felt that had kind of been overdone. I wanted to do a very soft, sophisticated look inside so that when you came into the home, its archways were surprising. Its finishes were softer than the exterior looked, and then it just genuinely hugged you and gave you an embrace of, this is that smooth transition that I'm looking for. Where I come in, this home is architecturally striking, but it's also one of those places where it's a home.
Yeah.
And that's really what
it's
I wanted to...
It feels inviting.
That's really what we wanted to accomplish as a team. But custom doors, everything in this home is bespoke.
I love it. I love the marble in the driveway. I love the marble in front of the office. I love how it all ties together with the entry. And I can't wait to see the inside. This is incredible.
And so when you come in, you're immediately hit with the skywalk. You're immediately hit with this 2-story volume, this beautiful wood. You start to see the level of finish with the fry riglets. You start to also see this beautiful level of finish in these custom registers that we had custom stained. You've got this beautiful drywall flush with the stairs. You've got this key drop here, which is great. You know, just design-wise, it's that softness. This framing in what's happening here. And in Dover Shores, you don't have this. This does not exist except on this site. So 4,800 plus square feet on a sub 10K lot with a 760 square foot California room.
Wow. With
the lot maximized. So smooth transition out, no step over, no worries about drainage, marble, pool centered on the space, 16-foot laurel hedges. And you notice how the yard opens up.
Oh, yeah.
Because we utilize the California room. So a lot of complaints that I have found in being an agent and but translating into my developments is that people complain about there's no shade. So we created a shade spot, full kitchen out there, full link setup, full TV setup, bath. You've even got the kitchen hood. Everything that you see is either they're Fleetwood, so it's Fleetwood doors and windows. These are custom order Fleetwood. These are 12 feet tall. You're 14.6 to dead center in here. Every single piece of T&G was hand-picked, hand-stained, meticulous detail went into this home. You'll also notice when you're looking at the book match stained grade Rift White Oak, not only does it match the archways of what we put in, it matches the floor, but it all flows. So everything is book match. As you come across, you've got this beautiful limestone fireplace. You've got this Calcutta quartzite.
That's beautiful.
Fluted, rounded. You've got this beautiful garage window, which I can hit this button.
Oh yeah, I remember that one on Sandcastle.
But this is automatic.
Okay.
So this goes up. Custom steel doors. You've got these beautiful features here where
I love those, yeah, the outlets.
You know, they come up, and it's the first time that I've actually put this specific one in the home, but put the slab in it.
Yeah, this one's a little different, right? Because the other one kind of tilted up. This one, it's
that's
like
flush.
Yeah, that's flush. That's really nice.
And it comes up automatically. You've got Pitt, who graciously set this up for us, which is awesome. Calcutta going up. Full Gaggenau spec, so the most expensive, the best in my opinion. Double oven. You've got these beautiful custom steel fluted doors, sister archways across the way.
Oh, it's really nice. I love the symmetry there.
Chef's kitchen, which is great. So slab all the way up the wall, custom cabinetry, induction cooktop, both sides. You've got your Gaggenau fridge and freezer drawers, Gaggenau coffee maker, outside, line of sight, bringing that hedge in. And then when you come out, if you're wrapping around, you've got this massive space that feels like you could be indoors or outdoors. This home, the idea was, how do we build a home? How do we design a home? How do we create a living space that I haven't done before, that's pushing the limits of not only design, but pushing the boundaries of size and giving something that doesn't exist based upon what I was getting real-time feedback from buyers at this level. And I think we killed it, absolutely. But there's more to it, so I'll keep showing you. Ample storage, an art walk, so that if it is raining, a light drizzle.
Oh, I do like that.
You're walking out, you've got this beautiful place, whether it be for art or whether it be for family photos. A real office, as I was saying in the very beginning.
Yes.
Full walnut custom cabinetry built-ins, which is just spectacular. Custom stained, Fleetwood slider that opens up. Custom stained doors, and then you've got this powder bath here, which is just unreal.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So you've got a live piece of ash.
That's
that
so
was
cool.
Handpicked by myself.
Where'd you get this from?
So I picked that out at Austin Hardwoods, and then we have a great owner rep. His name is Eric, who's also a master craftsman, and so he built that, which is phenomenal. So Eric killed it.
Yeah, I love that.
And
in the other projects that you had, Sandcastle, a lot of floating vanities, and this one here, I love how you use that organic piece of wood there to just.
Wanted something a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, serendipity had come up with that design that was not myself, but it was how do we get that organic feel to it? And then our favorite word, limestone. So you have a limestone vessel, limestone wall. Generous sized bedroom. So you'll notice in every bedroom, ceiling height, volume, massing, it's just huge. So coming in here, again, hitting on that favorite word, limestone on the floor, Biancobella marble, backlit mirror, which is great. You've got this linen limestone, the Biancobella bench, and then everything is either Waterworks or Dornbrock. It's just top of the line, everything.
You can tell. It feels like a Drew masterpiece, and I love how organic this property feels, this home feels, but I also love how symmetrical it is. Like, yeah. I love how the archways are in alignment, how it's circular, how you can go around the kitchen but come out on both sides.
Yeah.
And the ceilings are so high. And one thing that's really cool about your properties is you always have attention to detail to the ceiling.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't focus on ceilings, but your ceilings are so meticulously done. It's interesting. I went to Chicago a couple weeks ago. We were looking at this beautiful architecture, and the guy was showing us about how much detail there was on the ceiling, and he goes, no one these days ever focuses on the ceiling anymore. And I'm like, I know a guy that does. I know one.
It's a huge compliment. Thank you. Yeah, it's a team effort. We want to make sure that the property, from fit and finish level wise, but from a livability and just when you come in, you don't have to worry about anything. It's done.
It's done.
Every single corner angle has been thought of meticulously and done to the same level and standard that the rest of the home is done. Because a lot of guys, they'll come in and they'll do one thing really, really well, and then everything will kind of be subpar.
Yeah.
What we want to do, and what Sky Sales' vision is to do everything with a spirit of excellence, so that from every single trade to every single thing that you touch, taste, or feel in the home, is done with that high level of excellence. So when we're talking about massing, it's important that you have to sit in a space like we're about to do here. Massing in architecture is about not only the shape, but how does it fit in the environment. And so for us, if you look at SkySail and you look at all of our homes, there's a front yard, a backyard, a creative space. So the home is set in a specific way. Of course, you have your setbacks, your standard setbacks, but massing is important to where you don't overdo it, because that starts the process of curb appeal. It allows the architecture to flow like a musical note. It allows the interior to flow and become that rhythm of the property. And so massing to me is very, very important. And on this specific house, when you look at it geometrically and you look at it shape-wise from an aerial perspective, its massing is perfected. So you have this symmetrical front yard. You've got these linear lines that are going through. So you have these marble that goes through the driveway, in a linear way, which matches the linear of the fountain.
Yep.
So you're hit with these geometric shapes. You're coming in and you have these archways. Those archways are designed to soften the double gable, to soften the gable out here. The vertical components that you see in the hardy board are matched with some of the vertical components that you see with what's happening with the cabinetry, with the towers, with the why this is the way and shape that it is. We could have made it bigger, we could have made it this size, but everything in massing has to do with how the stream of consciousness through a property really is developed and then built, right? It's never really perfect. It's just how the environment features the property. And so it's a really big deal to me that every SkySail home that we do, the massing is done correctly.
Yeah, you're using every square inch of the land, the structure, it all comes together as one cohesive
and
home.
our architect, Eric Ost, who is by far my favorite architect, not only a really close friend of mine as well, but he's really genius, in my opinion, about doing that. He took a drawing, which is just a front elevation, and we created this space together. And then we handed it off to the designer, and it became this beautiful, these moments. And I remember every single discussion about how are we gonna mass this? Are we gonna shrink this? Are we gonna push it? And every property we do together, him and I, we've done several together, just comes out as a win, you know?
That's awesome. It's so great to hear. I actually got to meet Eric last night, so it was really nice because I was talking to him about meeting with you and showcasing this property, and I said, are you familiar with 2100 Windward Lane? And he goes, yeah, I'm the architect on it. And I'm like, what a coincidence.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
He's like the man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love Eric. Not only is he a good individual, but he's also just like, he's a great husband, great dad, but he's really talented. And he's not one of those like pretentious, talented people that know that they're talented. It's like with Eric, he doesn't quite know how good he is.
Oh, he was super humble last night.
Yeah.
He was like talking himself down almost.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm Eric. I go, well, where do you work? He goes, my own firm, Eric Ost. And I go, okay, cool. And then we just started talking, and I'm like, oh, okay, so you know Drew.
You're Ost Architects. He's a great human being.
That's awesome.
And equally, if not more talented than a lot of people.
Awesome. Well, let's go take a look at the rest of the place. I'm excited to see the top level over that California room.
Yeah, so with that comes, what does massing do inside the home? Well, it creates moments. And that's really what it does, is how do you create that space? Because you can create a shell, but what we do is we take it a little bit further. And so part of massing is creating moments like this of, okay, how does the massing look outside? This is the downslope of the first gable on the right-hand side of the property, creating the moment for the stairwell, creating the moment for the skywalk, and just in general, creating this beautiful lightscape, because it's important that you have a lighting plan and a lightscape that comes into the home that illuminates the home. And so you have bedroom 1 upstairs, which is great.
Oh, wow,
huge vaulted
windows.
ceilings, centered on the tree, looking out. And what are you noticing? You're not noticing that you're not noticing your neighbor here. That's an equal distance. You're not noticing your neighbors to the right or left.
Yeah.
Everything massing wise was designed to keep your optics this way, not this way. But yeah, and everything we do, again, is we've already pre-wired everything for shades. We've already gotten the bids for shades. So if somebody wants to come in and give us the right number, we will absolutely put that in. But we've already thought of everything. Here we have this beautiful natural sink, natural wall, natural stone. You've got this travertine, which I'm in love with, and again, the limestone down below.
That travertine looks familiar. Was that in 15, 16 as well?
Different. It looks very much
Similar
the same,
color,
but different. So coming over here, clear story windows, so you're looking at treetops, blue sky. You have the laundry room in here, which is great. The Bedrosian tile, the limestone tile, up top, going all the way up and through, all the way to the ceiling. So a lot of guys would go here, this would be drywall. I'm not gonna do that. This is absolutely a must that we complete the spec the way that it was intended.
Fun fact, by the way, I worked at Bedrosian Tile for 5 years before I got into real estate.
I would expect nothing less of a good Armenian boy. Yes.
My uncle was the regional manager, and
Yes.
he got me a job there when I moved down, and so I had a lot of experience there. So anytime I hear anybody say Bedrosian Tile, it takes me back.
Yeah. So pivot door, again, stream of consciousness with what's happening out there.
This is really nice.
Custom built-ins. This is the primary bedroom, which is an incredible space.
Wow.
Huge vaulted ceilings. And this is why massing matters. When you're looking at this and you're looking across the vista, you have privacy with the hedges. How do we create a green space where everything is contained in here and you don't feel an invasion of the outside world?
At all.
At all.
You can barely see the rooftops.
Correct.
Wow, with this big of a window.
Fashion Island, views of Fashion Island,
Yep.
which is spectacular.
See that?
And then take a look at this closet. So I'm gonna come in here and it's gonna echo, which is gonna be funny. But this is 300 square feet. So one of the things that I learned from, because you always have to evolve, is you can't overdo it with the closet. I've never heard anybody said the closet's too big for the home. I've heard people say in some of my other homes, closet's too small or else I would have bought the home. I didn't want to make that mistake here. So we made it 300 square feet. This space is actually larger than the living space here. And you can feel that when you come out.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, primary bath, one of my favorite spots. This beautiful custom oak door. You are engulfed. This is part of that hugging moment, that encapsulation of how do we decompress or how do we compress and decompress when we come into a space? What's the intention behind it? You have these geometric shapes, which is great. So you're now blending that gable space, the verticality of the oak. It's wrapping. You've got the siding that's matching the siding upstairs. And then you've got a full 10-inch reveal, full slab, fully integrated travertine sink, custom fluted cabinets. We went ahead and tinted this window because we didn't want the neighbor looking up and we didn't want to look down, keeping with the theme of distance and kind of massing. We fogged it, and all you see now is treetops
And blue skies.
Full steam shower, added areas for the lady. So you have plenty of storage space there, full bench, which is great. It's just epic. It feels like a spa.
It does feel like a spa.
Every bath has that, this particularly. And
I'm still kind of mesmerized by this window, like just imagining myself waking up and looking out and just kind of getting my day started. This is very peaceful. The camera cannot do this justice. Like,
No.
you'd have to see this in person to see how incredible it looks. Like, I don't even feel like I'm in a neighborhood.
Yeah, that was the whole goal. The mission was, how do we create an estate within a neighborhood? And I think we did it. I love it. Everybody that comes says similar things as to you. All the can lights, by the way, are mud in, with the exception of on the TNG, because you can't do that. This living roof here
That is
was
cool.
really important on the entire width of the property. It's a very wide lot and a very wide property. So we basically over-engineered that. I mean, we spent as much as that as you would on a pool, making sure that we actually had a real live roof, not just, something underneath and maybe it leaks, maybe it doesn't. We wanted to go above and beyond and make sure that somebody had an irrigation drip system up there.
I was just gonna say, I noticed that there's irrigation there, so it makes it a lot easier to maintain and keep alive.
Irrigation drip system. Property comes with our landscaper, so we'll go ahead and take care of that because he knows how to do that. The lavender on there, which is purple, which goes with the jacaranda tree. Special powder. This is one of 3 powder rooms in the home.
This is a beautiful sink.
Single, it took 8 guys and 8 strong guys to lift this up and put this in here.
Wow.
It is a single piece of granite, which is awesome. This is all limestone. You've got these beautiful built-ins here, and then you've got these great lights that turn on.
This is really nice. I love the attention to detail in your powder rooms. You really go all out here.
Mm-hmm. So it's a combination of, it's important that you always have a woman's perspective too. And so with Valerie from Serendipity and her team and Marissa, we all sat around and it was this kind of give and take of what I wanted, what they wanted, and what the execution would be. And so I think we really nailed it.
And what would appeal, right, to the potential future homeowner?
Yeah, there's some, it's important in development that a lot of people understand that if you're just a spec builder and you're doing the same home over and over again, you know what your demographic is.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be that, you're gonna be fine. When you're doing what I do, which is custom spec, at a level that not a lot of guys are doing it at, and I don't say that, boastfully, it's just I try to do a little bit more than what other guys are doing because I want to be distinctly different.
Right.
And with that comes a level of execution that's a little bit different than most guys do. But you have to listen and have that creative freedom from the people that know more than you do about design. So you have to take risks is the point I'm trying to make. And those risks pay off because it's all a matter of what was the thought behind it. People understand the risk when they understand the why. And so it's very important when we're taking risks such as certain things in this home that they understand the actual why. So this loft area is phenomenal. It's a feat of engineering excellence, but architectural excellence and design excellence. If you look at just how well done this T&G is in the space and how it blends perfectly up to the gable and goes out, and how wonderful this space is. I mean, there's 10 people easily in here. We've wired both sides. We've centered it on a tree. Again, distance looking out, line of sight, down the street, but you have privacy.
Yeah.
And it's set back. It's not this flat space. It's unique. It's different. Custom up top. This great bedroom here. Again, the clear story. The windows should have been down below, and we put them up high for neighbor purposes, for privacy for them, out of respect for them. Neighbors are wonderful people, but also blue sky, treetops. Great size room, bed centered on it, looking out. Again, tree, awesome. Here's where we create that tie-in to the downstairs office. You've got this beautiful built-in cabinetry, the limestone. The limestone mosaic by Ann Sachs goes all the way up in the shower pan here. This great use of space and just flawless. I mean, it's great.
I like how you tied in the mosaic on the shower floor too.
Yeah, again, a risk, right? Most people would be like, why is my shower pan on the wall? But you look at it and you go, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Like, do we do wallpaper or do we do this? This was a lot of work to get done. But you touch the walls, it's even a different feel than what you feel in most homes drywall-wise. It's not your typical drywall. Great size closet. This is one of my favorite secondary bedrooms. This is the 5th bedroom, which is awesome. I just love how, again, massing is important. Why? You're centered on a tree.
Yeah.
Everything in every room on the peak and on the eave is directly centered with a purpose. So there was intention behind what we did. And a lot of people don't know that. They'll overlook it. Even people that are on the team, they didn't get it. And there's a reason why Eric and I worked so meticulously together to do these things, and why the design team just crushed it for us.
Yeah. Well, you constantly say risk, but I do think that these risks are so calculated, and you've got that attention to detail.
It's a mitigated risk.
And so it's like, when you're selling these properties, you're not just selling them for what the last home sold for. You're selling them and you're setting a bar. Yeah. And so to be able to set a bar, you have to put out a product that most people haven't seen before. Yeah. And that's what you're doing. You're trailblazing. Yeah, well, like the sandcastles, right? Nobody had ever seen a 9.5, and then we did 11.5. Nobody had seen that. In Dover, you've seen 9s for sure, but nobody's seen a 10.5 on a non-view. Yep. And if I'm going to take the risk of putting investor capital, partner capital, and my quote unquote tail on the line, we're going to push the boundary. And it's worth it. It's worth it.
Because today, if you look at this house and this lot, what's the risk reward, right? You always have to look at that. The risk reward is, where are you going to find a lot that's 10,000 square feet, build this home for the price that you're paying? You're not. Your lots now are going to be 4.5. Selling one down the street, 4.5 million, whereas before they were 3.25, 3.5. So you could kind of get away with that, but you can't put this fit and finish level in today with what's going on based upon what we've spent. You just couldn't.
Yeah.
So as long as we're at replacement cost or below or right at a comp that may have been a year ago, you kind of understand the appreciation, so your risk reward is a little bit different. So when we underwrite deals, and when I do specifically, because that's my job, I have to make sure that everything is thought about. Sometimes I miss, but my people have always done historically well, with SkyCell at the helm.
Yeah.
So this is it, man. It's just a beautiful spot. I love being here.
Yeah, so I'd love to also discuss maybe who do you see as the right buyer, other than somebody who's willing to write a $10.5 million check.
My favorite answer.
Who do you see living here? Like, what type of people do you see living here?
So the ideal buyer is going to come from a major metropolitan area, inclusive of Orange County, and I think Orange County has now become the major metropolitan area.
Yeah.
A local buyer too. A lot of people that I've shown the property to are move-up buyers from Newport Beach. So coming from the Port Streets, who like this side of the bay better.
Yeah.
Coming from other areas of Newport Beach, like the Heights, to come here, because Dover Shores uniquely gives you larger lots than the Port Streets and the Heights. So we share a lot of buyers with them. A lot of people that have kind of grown up here or bought here as the first time, they're like, oh, I want the Port Streets. They ultimately come back. So it's a family. It's definitely a family area, definitely a family home.
I agree.
It's not one of those where a bachelor may come in, but it's a lot of house for somebody. And we did this, when I designed this, I designed it with, how would my family and I live? How would we live in a 5-bedroom plus office home, which I would gladly take, okay? And what would we want? And because I'm in the space like you are every day, meeting buyers, talking to buyers, selling properties, I've realized that this is a representation of how my family and I would absolutely love to live. From entertaining, because as you know, I have a big family. We entertain every weekend. So this space was designated for that. We barbecue a lot. But most importantly, how do I keep an eye on my little ones? And that's why, massing wise, it's important, because you have direct line of sight from your primary. Also, how do we get the entire family in 3 different spaces? And so what's really unique about this that I really want to kind of emphasize with you on how it translates outside is, you have formal eating here, but more importantly, you have eating here, you have sitting here, you have eating here and eating here. So no matter what conversations are being had, the family is integrated. So how do we create that wholesome environment for a family that are often overlooked? And then how do we translate that to outside? And so this is just kind of the extension, natural extension of this space, because you have this space, fully wrapped, sound, all of the infrared with the bath, so that people aren't eating and tracking it in, or if they're in the pool and this and that. And so we really feel that we kind of nailed it on that integration. Like indoor, outdoor, but creating those moments of, like, when you're standing here, that light and that staircase, that's intentional. That's meant to be. When you're sitting over here, come over here. And I haven't gotten this deep with you ever, but I'm going to explain to you why I did it. And the idea is how would it feel if I'm sitting here? Again, that moment. Because where are you going to find the verticality, the lights, the archway, and notice that the lights match the archway. Notice the verticality there. It takes your hue up here, and it's perfectly framed in. You know, we had this concrete pad. It's funny. My partner was like, "Why didn't we do marble everywhere?" And I said, "Well, that would have been too much." And what I wanted to do is I wanted to play with, if you notice the stucco color, and just feel that stucco. Yeah. It's a little bit different. It's got that poly bond in it. Yep. It's not, still feels wet. It's not this space where it's dry and you're seeing cracks. There's membranes behind it. But I wanted it to be different so that you knew when you were coming through this space, you had different moments. You have different textural experiences.
No, I think it's nice. I think it breaks it up a little bit. I think marble here and there would just be too much. It'd almost be blinding a little bit.
Too much.
So I think you did a great job of creating the kind of the diverse space and feel. And you know what's interesting too is, like you said, 10,000 feet, and it feels so grand, but everything still feels here. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just like that area, this area, they're so big, but at the same time they're so integrated.
It's the envelope.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like you're within the confines of the property, but that it's expressive, it's spacious, and that you're living within inside of it versus you want to be outside of it. I think oftentimes in spec homes, in homes that you and I would sell, your mind often wanders to, what's the neighbor's yard look like? What's going on over there? Instead of being present in your home. And so I want, as I'm intentional, I want somebody that lives in this home, ideally, to realize that this is a home of intention and purpose, and that when you're in this home, you're not distracted by the outside world. You're not curious about what's going on. You're encapsulated.
Yeah.
And that's part of that intention. I mean, every single detail has a story behind it, but also a reason behind it. It's not just, hey, we're here to throw a great property together, do everything you want, you know, with no thought, and we'll hope it works. It's just not us. Thank you, bro.
You are awesome.
I appreciate you, man.
I don't think you know how many people literally comment on the videos and they're like, hey, I just saw Drew listed a new property. Can you tour it for us? We really want to get inside. I mean, you are the crowd favorite, and I'm just so grateful to have an opportunity to just showcase your beautiful work. I know you have an amazing team behind you.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for watching and for supporting us. And if you want to see this place, reach out to Drew, reach out to me. We'll get you in here. And until then, keep living the dream.
Thank you, guys.